They lost you, and now the reality of that loss is beginning to hit them in a way they never expected. Maybe they thought walking away would make everything easier. Maybe they convinced themselves that they could move on, forget the connection, or find someone who could give them the same feeling. But something has changed. The distance that was supposed to make them feel free may have made them realize exactly what they walked away from. And now, when everything becomes quiet, memories of you have a way of returning. What I'm picking up here is not simply someone who misses your presence. This feels deeper. This is someone questioning their own decisions and wondering whether they made a serious mistake. They may be remembering conversations, replaying certain moments, and thinking about what they could have done differently. They may never have admitted it to you, but there is a part of them that knows they did not handle this connection the way they should have. And that realization is becoming harder for them to ignore. Welcome to Tarot Self-Growth. If you're new here, take a moment to settle in, take a deep breath, and listen to this reading with an open mind. This is a general tarot reading, so take the messages that genuinely resonate with your situation and leave behind anything that doesn't. And before we go deeper, if you enjoy relationship readings like this, make sure you subscribe to Tarot Self-Growth and turn on notifications because you don't want to miss the next reading. Now let's see what the cards reveal about the person who walked away and what is really happening behind the scenes. The first card coming through is the Five of Cups, and this is immediately bringing forward the energy of regret. This card often appears when someone has become focused on what they lost and is finally recognizing the emotional consequences of their choices. Your person may have tried to convince themselves that leaving was necessary, but now they are looking at the situation differently. They may be asking themselves why they allowed pride, fear, confusion, or circumstances to interfere with something that had genuine emotional value. There may be a particular memory that keeps coming back to them. It could be a conversation you had, a moment when you looked at them in a certain way, something you said, or even something you never said. Sometimes it is the smallest memory that becomes the most powerful because it carries an emotional feeling they cannot recreate anywhere else. They may remember how comfortable they felt around you, how easily you understood certain things about them, or how your presence made them feel seen without requiring them to explain everything. Then we have the Eight of Cups, and this card tells a very interesting story. It represents walking away while emotions still remain. That means this person may have left physically or emotionally, but leaving did not necessarily mean their feelings disappeared. In fact, they may have expected distance to make those feelings weaker. Instead, distance may have given them enough space to recognize how significant the connection actually was. This is where the energy becomes complicated. Someone can care deeply about you and still run from the connection. Someone can have genuine feelings and still sabotage something because vulnerability scares them. They may have been afraid of getting hurt, afraid of commitment, afraid of losing control, or simply unwilling to confront what they were feeling at the time. Whatever the reason, the card suggests that walking away did not give them the emotional relief they expected. The Four of Swords shows a period of silence, reflection, and internal processing. Your person may not be saying much, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening inside them. They could be thinking about you privately while maintaining a completely different image on the outside. They may appear calm, distracted, or completely unaffected, yet when they are alone, their thoughts can become much louder. And there is something else here. They may be wondering whether you have changed. Perhaps they once assumed that if they ever wanted to return, you would still be there. But your energy feels different now. Maybe you stopped chasing them. Maybe you stopped checking in. Maybe you stopped trying to understand behavior that repeatedly left you confused. Or perhaps you simply began focusing more on yourself. Whatever changed, they may sense that they no longer have the same emotional access to you. That realization can be extremely uncomfortable for someone who once felt certain they could come and go whenever they wanted. The Nine of Swords confirms that this person may be spending more time inside their own head than they let anyone know. This card carries the energy of overthinking, anxiety, guilt, and replaying situations. They may be asking themselves whether they made the wrong decision. They may wonder if you have already moved on or whether someone else has entered your life. They may even imagine what it would feel like to see you again and discover that you no longer feel the same way. And there is one question that may keep coming back to them. What if I had done things differently? That question can be painful because there is no way to go back and rewrite the past. They can only decide what they do from this point forward. Now the Queen of Cups appears, and this feels strongly connected to your energy. You may have been the emotionally understanding person in this connection. You may have given them patience, compassion, and opportunities to communicate. You may have sensed what they were feeling, even when they refused to explain themselves. But the Queen of Cups also represents emotional maturity. She can love deeply without losing herself in another person. That is important because your lesson may not be about getting this person back. Your lesson may be about recognizing that love should not require you to constantly question your worth. The Judgment card now changes the atmosphere. This is the card of awakening, realization, and accountability. It suggests that your person is being forced to look at the connection with new eyes. Things they once dismissed may suddenly seem important. Things they once blamed on circumstances may now look like choices. They may be realizing that some of the distance between you was created because they were unwilling to communicate honestly. This kind of realization can be uncomfortable, but it can also be transformative. Sometimes people don't understand the impact of their behavior until they are no longer receiving the same patience, attention, or emotional availability from the person they took for granted. And that may be happening now. The Knight of Cups brings the possibility of emotional movement. For some of you, this can indicate communication, an apology, a romantic gesture, or someone finally expressing feelings that they previously kept hidden. But I want you to be careful about one thing. Don't confuse someone missing you with someone being ready to love you properly. Those are two completely different things. If this person returns, watch their actions, listen to their words, but pay even closer attention to what they consistently do afterward. Are they taking responsibility? Are they acknowledging what happened? Are they willing to communicate differently? Are they showing you through their behavior that they have actually grown? Because saying, "I miss you," is easy. Changing is harder. The Six of Cups is the final energy I want to focus on for this part of the reading, and it strongly represents memories, nostalgia, and someone from the past remaining emotionally significant. This person may be remembering the connection more often than you realize. They may encounter ordinary things that suddenly bring you to mind: a song, a place, a familiar phrase, or even a simple moment that reminds them of how things used to feel. And the more they remember, the more they may understand that you were not simply another person passing through their life. You left an emotional imprint, but here is the most important message for you. Their regret does not need to become your responsibility. You do not have to chase them to make them understand. You do not have to prove your value. And you certainly do not have to put your life on hold while someone decides what they want. If they truly regret losing you, let them confront that feeling themselves. If they truly want another chance, let them demonstrate it. And if they do eventually come back, ask yourself if they're bringing the same version of themselves that hurt you, or if they've truly become capable of giving you something better. Because sometimes the biggest change comes when you stop asking, will they come back? And start asking, if they do, will I want what they're offering? That's where your true strength begins. Now you just have to take care of yourself. That's fine. I'll say goodbye. I'll meet you soon with another video. Until then, thanks.